So Bernie Sanders unveiled his climate change plan today, and he's not fucking around. Huffington Post reports, quote, Sanders offers a hard target to reduce carbon pollution, vowing to cut emissions by 40% by 2030 and 80% by 2050. Sanders would repeal fossil fuel industry subsidies, dedicate funding toward a clean energy workforce of 10 million jobs, ban oil, coal, and gas lobbyists from working in the White House, and return billions to the communities hit hardest by the transition to cleaner energy sources and extreme weather tied to climate change. Sanders' plan would outright ban offshore drilling, ban Arctic drilling, block natural gas exports, stop attempts to lift a decades-old ban on crude oil exports, support states trying to ban natural gas and fracking, and ban mountaintop removal coal mining. So, naturally, the response from the right and the response, more specifically from industry on this, is going to be, well, you're just going to absolutely decimate the American economy, and you're going to screw over people in the middle of the country, and this transition is all in the world of theory, you're not being realistic, and yada, yada, yada. The response to that is, what Bernie's calling for is the most aid to those states, the states that are very reliant on dirty energy, fossil fuel and coal and the rest. And he wants to, first and foremost, try to get the most jobs in the new industry, the green technology industry, over there. So that's not a solid, that's not a valid criticism of his plan. And in all seriousness, it's the only one that's even a little bit serious in the sense that, you know, our future generations will not look back at us and go, look at these fucking idiotic apes who fucked it up for all of us. So this is a guy who's saying, well, we have to address this, and we need to stop being ridiculous, and we have to listen to the scientists, and we can't just have business as usual and money run the day. Because if that's the case, people don't realize how we're fucking ourselves in the long run. Humans are incredible like that, man. If you really think about it, there was an article earlier today talking about how in Beijing they have a red alert pollution emergency where they go on to describe that it's basically like you're breathing in a giant cloud of smoke that's engulfed the city. You can't see far in front of you, maybe 100 feet at most, and a lot of people are wearing masks, and the air is just horrendous. And the thing is, right now, so you could go live a day and then just feel like, well, there are no negative consequences right now. I feel fine. I don't see what the problem is. And because of that, and obviously industry running the show, people act like, I guess we don't really need to move on this because it is what it is. What are you going to do? But then what medical experts are telling us and what scientists are telling us is that's a false sense of security. Give it a little time. All that shit that you breathed into your body is either going to give you cancer, it's going to give you breathing problems, respiratory issues, lung issues, and you don't know. You could be cutting 20 years, 30 years off of your life because it's basically the equivalent of smoking a cigarette all day long when you walk around a heavily polluted area in Beijing. We covered a story not that long ago where kids are now getting lung cancer in some places. So it's a problem, but since not everybody's immediately affected, brush it under the rug, who cares? It's the same thing with climate change, where whether it's Wall Street or whether it's various corporations or the fossil fuel industry, everybody's getting in on the boom with dirty energy, and they've been in on it for a while now, and they're dragging their feet for green technology, and as a result of that, they don't even realize that they're kneecapping future generations. So here comes a serious political thinker who says, no, all you guys are idiots. Business as usual is ridiculous. We can't keep doing this. We're destroying the planet. Let's fix it. And naturally, what's he going to get? Outright derision from everybody in the conversation. You watch. Hear me now, quote me later. I bet you Hillary Clinton comes out and attacks this as unrealistic. I bet you she says, something hurt the economy. I guarantee you she says that. And the reality is that was it the case that the economy was decimated when we had to get rid of the horse and buggy and we then had the car? Was it the case that the economy was decimated when we went from Morse code to better forms of communication? No, sometimes industries come in and then they go out. They rise up, they reign, and then they die. And this is something that Bernie Sanders, he's a social democrat, but he understands that there are some industries that are unsustainable. So we need to fight back against it. And Hillary, who's further right on the spectrum, she should be more on this side because, hey, free enterprise, let the marketplace decide. Well, as of right now, the government is making it so that the fossil fuel industry has an unfair advantage. So you don't want the free market to decide. What you want to do is you want to give an unfair monopoly and you want to give unfair subsidies to the fossil fuel industry and make it so that they can continue to beat back green technology when green technology is not getting nearly the same amount of money in terms of subsidies, and they're being stifled by lobbyists in Washington that are trying to make sure that they hold on to power for as long as possible. Well, that's got to come to an end, and the only person with a serious plan to fight back against this is Bernie Sanders.